because your time is very precious. So just try to concentrate on this topic. You will come to know about the other physiological jaundice too. What's the breast milk jaundice? It is characterized by the indirect hyperbilirubinemia in a breastfed newborn that develops after the first 4 to 7 days of the life, persists longer than a physiological jaundice, and has no other identifiable cause. Okay, the important point what you need to remember is soon after the birth, if there is a jaundice soon after the birth, within 24 hours, it's always pathological. That's very important. After 24 hours, it's a physiological jaundice. Okay, some says within 48 hours too, but 24 hours you can take it as a standard. Well, when this is develops after the first 4 to 7 days of the life, this is a breast milk jaundice. So when there is a milk, so the baby has to be on breast milk, then he will develop jaundice. So it takes us some time. That's why 4 to 7 days. Okay, it should be differentiated it from breastfeeding jaundice, which manifests in the first week of life and is caused by insufficient production or intake of breast milk. An unusual metabolite of a progesterone, that's what you can see on the screen, a substance in the breast milk that inhibits a uridine diphosphoglucuronic acid UDPGA glucuronidase transferase. This is very important enzyme you need to memorize. Increase the concentration of non-esterified free fatty acids that inhibits the hepatic glucuronidase transferase. The exact cause of breast milk jaundice is not known, but there are two of the many theories. The important theories what you need to remember for MRCP examination is the first one, this one UDPGA, and the other one is a non-esterified free fatty acids. Physiological jaundice usually manifests after the first 24 hours of the life. Remember, after 24 hours life. Okay, this can be accentuated by the breastfeeding, which is in the first few days of the life, may be associated with the suboptimal milk and suboptimal caloric intake, especially if milk production is delayed. This is known as breastfeeding jaundice. Jaundice that manifests before first 24 hours of the life should always be considered pathological until proven otherwise. That's very important, guys. I told you before, right? In this situation, a full diagnostic workup with emphasis on infection hemolysis should be undertaken. If it's a pathological, then you have to do the investigations, and I'll definitely post a video later on that. True breast milk jaundice (BMJ) manifests after the first 4 to 7 days of the life. A second peak in the serum bilirubin is noted by age 14 days. In clinical practice, differentiating between the physiological jaundice from the breast milk jaundice is important so that the duration of the hyperbilirubinemia can be predicted. Identifying the infant who became dehydrated secondary to inadequate breastfeeding is also important. These babies need to be identified early and given breastfeeding support and a formula supplementation as necessary. Depending on the serum bilirubin concentration, units with the hyperbilirubinemia may become sleepy and feed poorly. Clinical jaundice is usually first noticed in the sclera and the face, as usual. Then it is progressed gradually to reach the abdomen and extremities. Gentle pressure on the skin helps to reveal the extent of a jaundice, especially dark-skinned babies. However, the clinical observation is not an accurate measure of the severity of hyperbilirubinemia. We measure the bilirubin level because there is a different level of the treatment for the different level of bilirubins. A rough correlation is observed between the blood levels and the extent of jaundice. Approximately 5 mg per deciliter mid-abdomen, approximately 15 mg per deciliter of soles, and 20 mg as 20 mg per deciliter. Face 5, abdomen 15, 20 soles. That's how you need to memorize. Therefore, a clinical decision should always be based on the serum level of bilirubin. Skin should have normal perfusion and turgor and show no petechiae. Neurological examination including neonatal reflexes should be normal, although the infant may be sleepy, muscle tone, and reflexes. Morose reflex, Crosby reflex, rooting reflex. Definitely I will discuss about these in next videos. Evaluate the hydration status by an assessment of the percentage of the birth weight that may have been lost. Observation of the mucous membrane, fontanelle, skin turgor are important. Supplementation of breastfeeding with a dextrose 5% in water can actually increase the prevalence of degree of jaundice. Delayed milk production and poor feeding leads to decreased caloric intake, dehydration, and increased enterohepatic circulation, resulting in the higher serum bilirubin concentration. This is very important, you need to memorize. Detailed history and a physical examination showing that infant is thriving and the lactation is well established are the key elements to the diagnosis. Breastfed babies should have 3 to 4 transition stools and 6 to 7 wet diapers per day and should have regained birth weight by the end of the second week of the life or demonstrate a weight gain of 1 ounce per day. Measure total serum bilirubin level concentration in neonates who have jaundice that has progressed from the face to the chest and in the neonates at the risk for hemolytic disease of the newborn. The following tests are to be considered if the serum bilirubin levels are greater than 12 mg per deciliter. A total serum bilirubin concentration that rises faster than 5 mg or jaundice before 24 hours of life suggests a pathological. A level of conjugated bilirubin greater than 2 mg, that is 34 micromoles per liter. Micromoles are very important for MRCP examination because sometimes they don't give in milligrams, so you need to memorize that also. Suggests a cholestasis and biliary atresia or sepsis. Remember these important findings. For healthy term infants with breast milk or breastfeeding jaundice and with the bilirubin levels of 12 mg per deciliter to 17 mg per deciliter, following the options are acceptable. Increase breastfeeding to 8 to 12 times per day. Recheck the serum bilirubin in 24 hours. The mother should be reassured that related benign nature of the breast milk jaundice. So you need to inform the mother about this benign nature. This recommendation assumes that effective breastfeeding is occurring, including milk production, effective latching, and effective sucking with a resultant let down of the milk. Rest it on the Okay, continue breastfeeding and supplement with the formula. The other option, temporary interruption of the breastfeeding is rarely needed and is not recommended unless serum bilirubin reaches 20 mg. Remember this point, this is very important. For infants with the serum bilirubin level from 17 to 25, add phototherapy to any of the previously started treatment options. The reader is referred to the American Academy of Pediatrics parameters on the management of the hyperbilirubinemia in a healthy full-term newborn infants. The most rapid way to reduce the bilirubin is to interrupt the breastfeeding for 24 hours, feed with formula and use phototherapy. However, in most infants, interrupting breastfeeding is not necessary or advisable. This is very important. Sometimes we can ask you questions on MRCPCH. Okay guys, with this I'm done with the topic on breast milk jaundice. I hope you got an idea about the breast milk jaundice. If you have any questions, please do let me know. If you think I made any mistakes, please do let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to tell your friends about my channel. Thank you so much for being patient and watching my videos. Take care.